Today we're making this, a LED slat wall for my basement. I had some leftover 5/4 board from a deck I built a long time ago. So what I did is just rip down pieces into 1 7/8 and I made long ones, short ones, whatever, just so I could just figure out what I needed and had spares to do whatever I wanted to do. This is my safety warning. Please be safe when you are working around a table saw. It is very easy to get your fingers caught up in a saw blade, and it does not end well. So make sure you have a pusher stick or something to push the wood through, and try not to get your hands close to that saw blade. So what I did is I basically kind of sketched out how I wanted it, and then kind of just made what I could to resemble what I sketched out. I redid it a few times. It really didn't come out exactly how I wanted it, but I am happy with the final layout. After I got my layout done the way I wanted to, I made little marks where I wanted to cut reliefs for where the LED strips were going to go. So all I did was raise up my table saw blade just a little bit so I could just go ahead and relief it a little bit. But if I was to do it again, I would make the relief a little bit deeper because I had to take off some of the blocking so I could get the LED strip underneath of it. I wanted to make sure this was square, so I know my two outer boards were the same length. So what I did is I measured from corner to corner, and that gave me a measurement. So this thing was out like 1.5 inches. So I actually just had to shove up on one end of it. I just tapped it with a hammer, and it kind of just moved just enough, and then I got it square. I went back to my table saw and I was thinking how I wanted to hang this on the wall. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make a French cleat. And what it is basically it's a 45 on 2 boards, and the board that goes up against the wall, the 45 goes to it, and then it's opposite on your piece. And what it does is you just can hang it right there, and it holds by friction because it falls into that groove. For some reason, my brain was not working. I kind of second guessed myself and flipped it around, and then I actually ended up having to take it back off, flip it over, and reassemble it because I had it on the wrong way. The LED strips that I purchased for this are WS2812B. They're 5 volt, they're individually addressable, so you could pull them into X lights or other stuff if you really want to get crazy with it. I'm going to be running WLED on this because I have a bunch of other stuff in my house that's WLED, and these are just 5 volt. I'm running off a wall wart that's 3 amp, 5 volt, and I was getting great power throughout. I did have to supplement some of the power and inject at the beginning and end of some of the strips. That way I could get a true white all the way across the LEDs. Now, I built my own controller from a video I saw on YouTube. I will actually link that up here in the corner. And you could just buy like a Govee set or Hue lights or whatever you wanted to if you wanted to do this and didn't want the individually addressable ones. I opted to put in a push button on this, so I actually recessed it in the wood. One press turns it off, a long press changes the colors, but I can't get into any fancy patterns or anything that you could normally do with these. This is the area that I was going to install this into. When I was doing some testing, I noticed that I had light coming out through the cracks of the piece. So hindsight's 2020. I should have glued up each individual piece or planed it off, made sure it was perfectly straight when I put it together, then no light would come through. Because I only want my light to come through where the openings are. So it is what it is, but in the long run, once the glue dries and I sand it a little bit, you'll never even know there was glue in there. This was about a $4 mistake, but I don't know. If I used wood glue in the first place, I'd probably use about the same amount. This bottle was almost empty when I was done with it, so it is what it is, but learn from my mistakes. So here I am just running through some of the stuff that WLED has to offer. There's so many options to choose from. Is it perfect? No. Does it crash sometimes? Yes. But if you're looking for something that runs locally, is easy to build, pretty cheap to build, and gives you just great options, this would be something to look into. Thank you for watching. I hope this inspired you to do a project like this on your own. If you could, like, share, subscribe, and hit that thumbs up button. And until next time, I'll see you later.